Call this regular council meeting of August 23rd, 2016 to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Kavod. Dries.
Here.
Halter.
Here.
Hermes.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Walther.
Here.
Moore.
Here. And with that, hearing no exceptions, absence is granted to Mr. Kavod for not being here tonight. Have a prayer by Maria Walter.
Oh Lord, we ask you to send your spirit of servanthood upon all of us gathered here this evening to do your work for the benefit of all in our community. We ask you to bless our elected and appointed officials so they may deliberate with wisdom and act with courage. Bless the members of our community who come here to speak before council so they can state their cause with honesty and humility. And please bless and help those in the community that are ill. Lord, we ask this to bless us all, and everything we do here tonight will move you to welcome us one day into your kingdom. Amen.
Greenhills officers, 10. Breathe in. Arms. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Greenhills officers, order arms. At ease.
We have the approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting of July 26, 2016, and the council work session meeting of August 9th, 2016.
So moved.
Okay,
Seconded.
all right. Hearing no exception, minutes are approved. At this time, we have two police officers that will be doing the oath of office for. And step down here. Repeat after me. I, Zachary M. Clark,
I, Zachary M. Clark,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States,
and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the State of
the
Ohio,
Constitution and the laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Greenhills,
charters and charters
and ordinances
and
of
ordinances
the Village of Greenhills, Ohio,
of Ohio,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
discharge the duties of the office of police officer
discharge the duties of the office of police officers
to which I have been appointed.
to which I have been appointed.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. While Zach is introducing himself, congratulations. Welcome.
Welcome.
I'd like to tell you that Greenhills really scored on the two officers at your meeting tonight. Zach was at the top of our last eligibility list. We actually held the list for him until he graduated from the police academy. Zach is 28, has a son, and resides right here in Greenhills. He's also a Greenhills volunteer firefighter. He's a veteran of the United States Armed Services. He's a 2006 graduate of Roger Bacon and he graduated from the police academy at Mother Tech. He has been employed previously to us by the University of Cincinnati Medical Center as a public safety officer. His interest in police work came about through the influence of several family members who are already in law enforcement, including his father, Sergeant Todd Musgrove of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, and his brother, Brandon Musgrove, a police officer with Springfield Township. He got his start in law enforcement by serving as a police explorer with Forest Park for 4 years. He has completed his administrative training and is now on the street serving our citizens. I'll ask him if he has anything he'd like to say.
I just want to take this time to thank council. basically, I followed my family's footsteps, both my father and brother in law enforcement. Which I'm grateful that you've given me the opportunity to work here as I live in the village and also work for the fire department. One of my biggest goals here is to create a more of a community-oriented policing like I've seen growing up. So that's my biggest goal, is to work with the community.
Great, thank you.
You received flyers tonight about Coffee with the Cop, by the way. That was entirely Zach's idea, and he's putting it together on his own. Now we'll call up Robert Lanhoff.
Repeat after me. I, Robert W. Lanhoff,
I, Robert W. Lanhoff,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio,
the Charter and ordinances of Greenhills, Ohio,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
discharge the duties of the office of police officer,
discharge the duties of the office of police officer,
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to tell you just a little bit about Rob, who I'm sure he might mention that he brought a number of his family here, even from out of state.
Thank you, sir.
Rob was appointed as full-time officer here on August 15th. He's 26, single, and currently resides in Westchester. He's a 2008 graduate of Miamisburg High School, a 2012 graduate of Sinclair Community College with an associate's degree in the Greene County Criminal Justice Academy in 2015. He has just started his first week of field training officer training, and we're very happy to have him on board. And just like Zach, from the testing this year, Rob was at the top of our list, so we're very happy that he's here. I'll give him an opportunity to say hello.
All right, well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody, City Council. It's a great opportunity. Thank you guys for letting me get my first go at this here. I really appreciate it. I like everything I heard from when I interviewed. My girlfriend can attest that I was really big on Greenhills. I interviewed a lot of their places. I just feel like this is the best fit that I could ever want. I'd also like to thank my family and friends for showing up. My grandparents flew from Florida. I have a commander here from Greene County, and then my best friend Brooks Thompson from the academy as well. They all came and supported me. I'd just like to thank them, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Dave, you can excuse them
What?
if, you can excuse them if they don't want to stay.
Oh, yes, right, yeah.
Maybe they got the message.
Yeah. I don't have to.
Can't believe you guys are leaving. Go celebrate. Congratulations, Mom and Dad and grandparents especially. It's cool.
Maybe if we had brought cake and ice cream, they Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Okay. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Patricia Bender, and for those of you who are up here, you all know me. Several months ago, I came in concerned and interested in moving benches along the running trail and walking path as a way to help support people walking. Kenny and I took some time last Wednesday to go through and got quite a few signatures. And we thought what would be good would be to bring them and provide them for Yvonne, David, Jack, and Jeff. So what we have done is attached a very brief letter, and we've also made copies of the signatures of people that found that that would be a great idea and really were pro moving some benches along the trail. We plan on, Kenny and I, going around in my golf cart and checking out the sites to find out where there would be good placements, possibly along either the walkways that go through the streets or along the walking trail, and trying to avoid as many people's front yards as possible. So I just wanted to hand that off and let you know that just continuing to pursue that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Seeing nobody running up here. Municipal manager is an excused absence. In her place is the acting municipal manager, Matt Sanders.
Well, thanks, Mayor. The only thing that I really have to add is we've got some numbers from the gas and electric aggregation program through 2016, through year to date in 2016. The average savings per account for gas for residential subscribers has been $40.31. And the savings year to date for electric is $79.79 per account. And since the inception of the program, both residential and commercial, there's been a total savings of $824,000 to the village.
So the average home, gas and electric, about $120, roughly.
Yeah, so far.
That's on an annual basis?
Well, that's through
year to date.
Oh, year to date.
through
I'm sorry.
June.
Year to date.
Yeah.
Semi-annual.
Yeah, so, but in 2015, gas, it was $73.92, and electric was $155.99.
So the gas fluctuates a lot more. It hasn't been as great of a savings because of the competition in the gas market. But the electric savings rate has been substantial. So as I mentioned before, when we did the passing on of the garbage collection fees, if a person is in the aggregation program, would more than make up for what it's costing for garbage.
Do we need to remind them either through the journal or one call if they're not part of that?
Yeah, you want to make a note and maybe
I'd like to do that.
have Yvonne
Give them-
consider that,
yeah.
because not everybody watches this.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yes, would be good. Anything else?
That is all.
Okay. Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. Too bad all the law enforcement left, because I was going to talk about marijuana tonight. We've mentioned this before, the medical marijuana bill passed, signed by the governor, actually will go into effect next month. September 6th, I think, is the effective date of that. The reason I bring it, and we've already talked about it, and you're aware of what your options are going forward. The only reason I bring it up again is you may have seen recently some other communities have decided to adopt a moratorium, like right now in this, as it's about to become effective. Which all that does is, in essence, it's a way of you saying legislatively, we haven't decided yet what we're going to do long term, but we want to basically call a timeout on medical marijuana here. And it would be an opportunity to say, we're not going to issue, even though you can't issue any permits or anything yet because the state hasn't done its job, it's part of its work yet. A number of communities have adopted a moratorium to say, for instance, for the next 180 days, we aren't going to issue any permits, we're not going to do anything about this, it's on a freeze, basically, while we wait to see what the state does. So that's an option, that's another option that you have, that you still have. So it's something, I know you had talked about at a future work session, that may be a topic that you'll talk about.
What's the purpose of the moratorium?
Because what the law allows you, as we've talked about before, you can completely ban these establishments, or you can regulate them through your zoning code. The problem is that the whole state program it's all organized and will be run by the state. They don't have any of their rules and regulations in place yet. In fact, once the law goes into effect, it says they actually have a year to get their rules and regulations in place, and then up to 2 years to have the entire program up and running. The problem with that is it makes it difficult for local jurisdictions to decide what do we want to do, because we don't really know what the state rules and regulations are going to be. So a moratorium is a way of kind of, like I said, it's like calling timeout, putting a freeze on the status quo to say, we're not going to do it. We're not going to have anything to do with it right now. But it will give our administration a chance to research it, investigate it, see what the state rules, how they start to come about. And then when the more, typically, like I know Sharonville has already adopted one for, I think, 180 days. I can tell you that Springdale, it's on their agenda for their September council meeting. Other communities have done it or on the verge of doing it. And it's just a way of saying, we don't know what we're going to do yet, but we're not going to do anything for, say, 180 days. That's what typically what most of it do. It gives you 180 days to watch, see what the state is going to do. And at the end of that 180 days, if you're still not ready to make a decision, you can extend the moratorium. So I just bring it up because it's actually, it's an option we haven't talked about before. We've been talking about what are you going to do long term. This is a short-term option you have to basically buy yourself some investigatory time.
I mean, declaring a moratorium, is not usually part of our normal business. Is this something that needs to come out of committee or?
It would certainly be appropriate if a committee wanted to discuss it. And you're right, it is, it's a rare tool that's hardly ever used. Courts have, and part of it is because you're basically saying, we're not going to amend our zoning code or do anything yet, we're just going to say no. Which is a bit, some people will look at that and say it's a bit of an extreme response. That's why courts have said you can only do it for a limited time, and it has to be for the purpose of really investigating it to decide what your long-term plan is going to be. So it's not used very often, but it is a tool that's at your disposal in this case.
Okay.
And we'll put it in your committee, so you have something to discuss at your next meeting.
Already noted.
Beyond that, unless there are any questions, that would conclude my report.
Okay. All right, moving on. Clerk of Council, Catherine Lives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The August 2016 Community Calendar and Resolution Number 2016-17 SNS were posted as required. If there are no questions, that would conclude my report.
Okay. Hearing none. Chief of Police, Neil Perlman.
Thanks, Mayor. What you saw tonight was half of our hiring and recruitment process. We've had a total of 4 vacancies. We're now down to 2. On August 4th and August 11th, our supervisors interviewed 6 additional candidates for our 2 unfilled positions. The candidates were ranked, and the current top 2 candidates are proceeding with background investigations. On August 12th, we participated in safety training along with the school district for teachers, staff, and administrators at the primary north and also at the middle school. Looking ahead, on September 10th, right here in this chamber, we will be having a free self-defense class. That class is almost booked up, but we still do have a few spots. There is no charge, but residents must sign up no later than Wednesday, September the 7th. The instruction will be real-world training. We have our very own Officer Rob White, who is a certified state self-defense instructor, who will be giving the training. And we'll provide water and fruit snacks during the training. It'll be from 10 until 2 here on September the 10th. On September 11th, I'll be talking with the adult education class at the Presbyterian Church. And later today, in conjunction with the Greenhills Fire Department, we'll be participating in a procession and a memorial ceremony for the 15th anniversary of September 11th. And that'll start here in our driveway outside and process up to the Commons, and the ceremony will be at the gazebo. And then the following week, on September 15th, will be the first class of our second Citizens Police Academy. We are sold out on that. We stand at 20 members. There will be 5 sessions, and it'll culminate with a graduation on November the 10th. On September the 20th, I'll be speaking to a group at the Messiah Lutheran Church, and our church groups have been so supportive of the community and the department. They have already put together a program to provide us with food options for indigent people that we find, and bus tokens for folks that find themselves stranded. Later that week on September 22nd at 9 a.m., as was previously mentioned and reflects the flyers that you have, we're setting up a Coffee with the Cop through the gracious assistance of Marty Huff down at the Village Troubadour. It'll be an informal opportunity for our residents to come out and chat with our officers with any community concerns. And by the way, Forest Park, the Park District, and Springfield Township will be participating along with us, and we'll send officers. Work continues on both our upcoming December on-site assessment. That's with the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. We are staging a mock on-site assessment on October the 24th, and we will have police supervisors and administrators from both Springfield Township and the City of Fairfield. Both of those agencies are already accredited. During the month of July, we investigated 3 accidents, which is down from 9 in July of 2015. 8 crimes, which was up from 6 the previous July. 213 other incidents. Of a total of 636 contacts with citizens, 313 of those were dispatched or received by phone, and 323 of those were self-initiated by our officers. The department provided assistance to the public in 115 instances. We assisted other agencies 34 times. We made 48 criminal arrests and 75 traffic arrests. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any comments, questions? The chief?
I just want to add that a few of the neighbors have talked to me, and one in particular, he's very grateful that in 3 or 4 different occasions he almost got hit coming out of Deer Hill and Damon, and we mentioned that, and the cruisers have been very actively checking that corner, and in fact, when one of the police officers was talking to him saying, we had 3 at the moment, another one just didn't even slow down, just went through, and he said, sorry, got to go, and got the 4th one. So he wanted to make sure that it was Kenny, and he said that he was extremely grateful that this has worked out the way it had, because he said he almost got hit several times trying to come out because the traffic was not stopping on Damon. Interesting
to note that just this afternoon it was a rather big event because Officer Lenhoff issued his very first traffic citation any time, and it was at that intersection.
And I also would like to thank the chief for all that his department's doing with things like this Coffee with the Cops, the outreach programs that he's had, talking about the heroin issue in the past several months, and the meetings that they've conducted, the Citizens Police Academy and the self-defense class, and compliment the new police department of having fruit snacks versus donuts.
So it was a healthy route.
Yes. Okay, in the mayor's report, I have a couple things I wanted to touch base on. One's the municipal court distribution to the county. We paid $54, to the state of Ohio $1,637.50, and the village of Greenhills $4,330, for a total of $9,121.50 for court receipts. Also, if anybody has, well, before I get to this, I wanted to thank also a couple litter pickers in town, a couple citizens that I've seen going around gathering trash, and I know Maria's mentioned it. She knows one of the people that do that, but it's one of the things that helps keep Greenhills green and nice looking and neat, and we've had a number of citizens over the years that do this without wanting a thanks or a thank you. They just go ahead and do it, and so I would like to thank some of those people. If someone would like to be publicly thanked, I'd be more than happy to see them come to a council meeting and we could say when you see this person with a bag and wonder what he's doing, they'll know. And also I have the landscaping awards, and they'll be ready the next council meeting to pass out and for council members to distribute. The other thing I wanted to touch base on is if anybody's been by the library, there's a closed sign for repairs at the library, and that's due to a roof leak problem. And the leak has been repaired, supposedly. The owner of the shopping center stated that he had sent people in this morning to work on the ceiling on the inside to repair it, and the library has requested that an environmental assessment be made first, and so that's underway, and hopefully we'll have the results back soon on that, like hopefully yesterday, but the quicker the better. And Yvonne's been in communications with the property owner and the library system, and we hope we can get that back up again so that our residents aren't inconvenienced by having to go out of town to another library. And that's all I have. Moving on, anybody have a report for service and streets?
I do. It's a very short report, Mr. Mayor. Streets and Services will be meeting next Monday, the 29th at 5 p.m. Mr. Kavod wanted to convey that he hopes to have additional information on the street sign issue relative to replacement of the street signs and options in that regard. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, Community Development, Jeff Halder.
Yes, just congratulations for the OLR group that pulled off a really dynamic festival despite the rain. Tricia Murray had asked me to represent the village and offer free water on Sunday. There was a lot of free water, not all coming from my tent, but there was water everywhere. But one thing I wanted to mention is just the community spirit that I got to experience as I was setting up on Sunday, and the attitude, despite the rocky weather report, was quite impressive. We have a lot of valuable residents, and I think it goes unnoticed sometimes when you don't get out and intermingle with them. And I was real impressed. And even afterwards, I had casually asked Tricia how they did, and she goes, "I don't know, but I'm ready for next year." I'm like, how do we clone someone like you? Just, and all the people that were helping her, it's a great thing. I'm not sure how we can get the word out on Harvest Fest. I encourage you to continue to spread the word that, about Harvest Fest, especially since we have issues with our poles that are holding the banners. I think the plan is to put no more banners up there because of the structural concerns of those and the rust that's happened. And it's much better to play it safe and not have somebody injured than have an issue. So we'll have to rely upon other ways to get the word out and also hopefully have some good weather for that event. I'm working rather closely with the owner of the shopping center. It's interesting because I do hear both sides of it. People that are frustrated that might be, renting and changes are happening. I still feel pretty positive that this can be a good situation, and he has taken steps. Everybody would like quicker steps, I understand that, but I think we've seen more steps taken lately than has happened maybe over a 1 or 2 year period prior. So I would just recommend patience to a certain level. There's obviously safety and zoning and things that it's not about patience, it's about getting things corrected. But my hopes are high that we can forge a good relationship that works for both the owner of that property and our village, since it's so central to what we have here. And then that concludes my report.
Comments and questions? I did notice they're painting the building that the library is located in yesterday and today. Okay. Traffic and Safety, Melanie Hermes.
Our Traffic and Safety Committee met last week, August 18th at 5 p.m. Both the fire chief and the police chief were there, and we had some discussion. Some of the highlights, the turkey raffle is coming up November 19th from 6 to 10. We talked about some of the personnel at the fire department and their vehicles and some grants and other equipment. We also discussed the 9/11 ceremony, which is again on September 11th, starting at 7 p.m. There will be a silent parade from here down to the Commons and the gazebo, and that fire inspections are ongoing at the shopping center. They're continuing to go out and do their fire inspections. Police department, we talked about on-street parking, motorized vehicles, some police personnel. And then one thing we did discuss is if a resident believes domestic violence is taking place, don't intercede, call 911. That's the biggest thing. If you think something's going on, there's been some instances in the community where people have heard something that they thought was domestic violence. Again, the most appropriate action, call 911, don't intercede. They obviously, and the chief will back me on this, they would rather get a call with nothing going on than not get the call and something was going on. Our next meeting will be October 25th at 6 p.m.
Questions, comments? Hearing none, Finance and Audit, Mr. DeRees.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did not have a meeting in the month of August, but I do have our July financial report. This is somewhat difficult to explain without looking at numbers. On the income side, we're way ahead, but we got $90,000 in tax advance early. Our income tax is up year to date about 12.5%. But we already have the August number in, and we're going to go backwards $23,000. So we're plus 79 over last year, but that'll back off. So we'll be up $56,000 at the end of August. Real estate taxes are, like I said, are up, but we got a transfer in early. We do think that real estate tax receipts will be up for the year, and that's primarily influenced by commercial property in the village is now all current with their tax bills, which is a great thing for us. Overall, I think our revenue will tend to be up slightly over last year, and we'll just have to see as the year continues to progress out. On the expense side, if you think about the village to run what we call the general fund, which is most of our expenses and our police expenses, it's about $2.3 million a year, and that predominantly comes from, a little over $1 million of that comes from income tax. So the income tax being up is a very favorable thing. On the expense side, we are right on budget. We appropriate a certain amount of money each year, and we do supplemental appropriations, which we will have one this evening. Last year, at the end of July, we had spent 59% of what was appropriated. This year, we spent 52%, so that kind of trends in like we're spending money slower, so that's a good thing. And I'm just grateful for our fiscal officer, Matt, for all that he's done with this. He makes some of these things easy to understand. He's a good gatekeeper, but the department heads also have been fiscally very responsible with the budget that we've given them. So I'm cautiously optimistic about our financial picture at this time. And that concludes my report.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All right, and I just make a comment to the Inquirer. I today had an article on the, I forget what it's called, the state checkbook.
Open check.
Checkbook.com. And so if a person wants to find out more about finances, they can go to that site, because the village was one of the first in the area to join it, and quite a few municipalities and school districts around the state of Ohio are now in that system. Okay, moving on, Recreation Cable TV, Maria Walther.
Cable TV has not met, except because they do it every quarter, so it has not been a time to meet. Recreation, we're consumed by the community day at the pool that is coming up this Sunday. And please come and have a great time with your neighbors. We really enjoy serving the community in many aspects, and this is one that is kind of off the stress chart. And just, go there with shorts, go to the pool, enjoy the hamburger, etc. So please do come down. The other thing that is kind of consuming us right now is the Harvest Fest. We are making preparations for that. We are in need of some additional volunteers. If you know of anybody that would be able to help us out, that would be great. We are trying to change some things a little bit. We're having a pie contest, and we're going to have some ribbons and awards, etc. So some of the things are going to change a little bit, and I hope that everybody would enjoy it. So please communicate with either directly with me or with the office, village manager, and that would be great. We have many committee meetings and/or commission kind of put it together, trying to figure out the logistics on what we're going to add on and do, etc. So if you have some ideas and you want me to think about it, we still have some time to add some things to it. If not, just come down and help, or if not, just come down and enjoy it. So please keep us in your calendar for the fantastic Harvest Fest.
October 15th.
October 15th. And Mr. Mayor, I'm just going to be kind of daring, and I like this coffee with the Join Your Neighbors and police officers, and I would love to see having coffee with the mayor or some of the members of council at some point in time. And you know that imitation is the highest way of complimenting somebody. And Chief, hats off.
Credit goes to young Zach Clark.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, and I forget, actually, I don't remember when Yvonne's meeting in the parks, which is similar to what this would be. But I'm sure Yvonne might be interested in it, since she probably has 10 or 15 cups of coffee a day.
Our next park talk is at 6 p.m. on September the 6th, and it'll be behind the community building.
Okay. Okay, and I just checked the weather forecast, and for Sunday, there's a 30% chance of rain, but it's supposed to be almost 90 degrees, 89 degrees, so it should be a good day for a swim.
It will be great, and I tell you, if you're going to be wet from the pool, you're going to be wet from the rain, doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
We have warm hearts, and we would have a great time.
Okay. All right, moving on, intergovernmental affairs and laws and rules, Jack Lee.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to standing over that grill at 90 degrees on horse. But come and eat those burgers and hot dogs. Okay, our meeting of August 22nd of Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules was canceled due to lack of agenda items. However, we now have the next meeting scheduled for September 26th, Monday at 9 a.m.
Comments or questions? All right, hearing none, and actually, I think Yvonne has given you a report for the Planning Commission.
Yes. Yep.
So if you go ahead and do that, we should have covered that earlier.
The Plan Commission first reviewed proposed amendments on June 8th. The Plan Commission then conducted a public hearing on June 12th regarding those amendments. And then the Planning Commission met again on August 9th to review the comments. And we reviewed comments also made by the village solicitor regarding the same topics. And at that meeting, a motion was made to recommend to council the proposed amendments. So the next step will be for council to talk about them in the work session. We can, if it is our pleasure to do so, schedule a public hearing for the for council's public hearing for the planning or for the text amendment changes, and I'd like to suggest that we would do that on September 27th and just make that the first part of the meeting at 7 o'clock, and then we would continue on with the council meeting.
Okay. That sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
6 o'clock?
No, do it at 7 and then just push the council meeting back 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it takes to complete that.
Got it.
Want to make sure Yvonne knows. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And new business, we have a resolution number 2016-18-F, making supplemental appropriations and transfers. Mr. DeRees.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sit back, relax. It's going to be long. Resolution 2016-18F, a resolution making supplemental appropriations and transfers, whereas the 2016 annual appropriations that were adopted on December 8, 2015 are to be amended, and whereas appropriations must not exceed total available resources of the village per Ohio Revised Code, Section 5705.36A5, therefore an amended certificate of estimated resources has been requested from the County Budget Commission. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that since certain actions are needed in the monies appropriated so to permit the Village of Greenhills to meet its fiscal obligations for the year 2016, the following items of expenditure are to supplement the appropriations for expenditure for the year 2016. Fund 1000, General Office Other, prior appropriation $13,625, appropriation change $1,775, total revised appropriation $15,400. Fund 1000, General Mayor and Administrative Other, prior appropriation $92,510, appropriation change $2,100, total revised appropriation $94,610. Fund 1000, General Lands and Buildings Other, prior appropriation $266,350, appropriation change $3,900, total revised appropriation $270,250. Fund 1000, General Tax Collection Fees Other, prior appropriation $11,000, appropriation change $5,000, total revised appropriation $16,000. Fund 1000, General Transfers Out, prior appropriation $472,000, appropriation change $192,000, total revised appropriation $664,000. Fund 2041, Recreation Levy Other, prior appropriation $31,495, appropriation change $200, total revised appropriation $31,695. Fund 2271, OVI Other, prior appropriation $200, appropriation change $800, total revised appropriation $1,000. Fund 2901, Police Levy Other, prior appropriation $266,775, appropriation change $3,500, total revised appropriation $270,275. Fund 2904, Apartments, prior appropriation $27,019, appropriation change $2,449.06, Total revised appropriation, $29,468.06. Fund 2907, spoils other, prior appropriation, $45,415, appropriation change $3,000, total revised appropriation $48,415. Fund 2909, swimming pool other, prior appropriation $148,250, appropriation change $5,500, total revised appropriation $153,750. Fund 4501, shade tree other, prior appropriation $60,000, appropriation change $15,000, total revised appropriation $75,000. Section 2, that the following transfers of funds be made from previously appropriated monies. Transfers from General Fund 1000 to Police Levy 2901, transfer amount $60,000. Transfer from General Fund 1000 to Golf 2908, $9,000. General Fund 1000 Swimming Pool 2901, $12,000. General Fund 1000 to non-voted debt 3901, $333,000, for a total transfer amount of $414,000. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after the earliest date allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
I second.
Okay, been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. Any comments or questions?
This was reviewed by and recommended for adoption by the staff. The biggest item in here is the $333,000 for the non-voted debt to pay our obligations. Matt, do you want to, since we have the fiscal officer here, you want to give a little color to any of the other pieces?
Sure, yeah. The appropriation change for the transfers, that's probably the most eye-catching thing on there. That is because when we did our appropriations at the beginning of the year, we had budgeted a sale of properties that has not come to pass. So this is reflecting that shortfall. And, excuse me. And this should be all the transfers that we need for the rest of the year, except for we have another $60,000 scheduled for the police fund to do later in the year.
Okay.
Matt, is there any way that we can avoid such a gap on the planning stages, or this is something that systematically you take the money from the general fund and then just pay the account and you project that this is going to happen?
You mean with the transfers?
Yes.
Yeah, see, you can also go through them piece by piece. Well, around the beginning of the year, we had made an original transfer to the police levy, the golf, the pool, trying to get us through, I believe it was through end of September or October.
End of September.
Yeah. Excuse me. So this is just the next step in that.
I mean, we could have transferred all of the money that we thought we would need for the whole year.
But as soon as you do that, they become restricted funds. So if for some reason, like I say, the golf fund, if we got a huge influx in revenue, we didn't need to make the transfers, but if we had made it already, then that money is stuck in the golf fund.
Yeah.
It's a one-way door.
So you just wanted to have it for other things that may come up, and you can just use it at that point.
Right, and if you're taking unrestricted funds, the last thing you want to do with them, if need be, is restrict them if you don't have to. So that's why we did the first bit, and then we're doing the second step of it now.
Okay. All right, clerk, call the roll.
Dries?
Aye.
Halter?
Aye.
Hermes?
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
Walther?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2016-18F passes. All right, calendar?
We have the Community Day at the Pool on Sunday. We have the Harvest Fest coming on October the 15th. We have, I wonder if we can have a one call to remind about the Community Day at the Pool.
I think she's planning on doing
Okay, maybe
that.
there's an additional guidelines for people to bring in something in to join all together, dessert, salad, or something like that. Would that be possible, Matt?
I believe so.
Okay, all right, and we also having the Recreation Committee meeting and the Recreation Commission meeting in September the 1st. One starts at 6 and the other one at 7. And we'll be here in the council chambers.
Okay.
The golf course is open every day, and it's in great shape, so put it on your calendar to go play some golf.
Okay. All right. Anything?
The park talk, did you mention that? It's
I didn't know, but
September
the
6th,
September the 6th.
6 PM behind the community building.
Okay. We have a concert tomorrow night, big band sound, another 30% chance of rain, so hopefully it doesn't get rained out like last week. And what else do we have? We have the
9/11 ceremony, silent parade starting at 7 from here down to the gazebo at the Commons. Traffic and safety, 10:25, 6 PM. Turkey raffle, it's not too early to put it on your calendar, November 19th.
okay.
Streets and Services, next Monday, the 29th at 5 PM, right here. And Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, next meeting is September 26th at 9 AM. That is a Monday.
And Coffee with a Cop
Oh,
Yep.
on Thursday, September 22nd, 9 to 11 AM.
Okay, that's it. We're adjourned.